Hello family, we're back with another episode of Cinema Club. I'm your co-host Mantsai. I get called TK, but today I have a special addition to our team. It is our editor and lovely co-host for the day.
Hey guys.
Qubeka.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being a part of us.
Appreciate it, guys. My name is Qubeka. I am from
Sorry,
Lesotho.
I pronounced your surname wrong.
I mean, all Bantu languages.
Bantu.
You know what I'm saying? But yes,
Okay.
I am Qubeka. I am from Lesotho. I have two nicknames, right? One's Mo, others use Teeks. Either or, not too mad at it. But I'm really happy to be here.
I'm glad you came to assist me because TK was feeling Yes, but he's traveling and we wish him a good travel and safe travel until he's with us again. But today we are doing something fun once again. You know, we keep it funny out, we keep it interesting. We're working with the 2019 film. Mo will give us the draw-in of what we'll be working.
Guys, as you know, all great things happened before COVID. As she said, this is a 2019 film shot in East London. This is the one, the only Knuckle City, produced right here. Few fun facts, a lot of them will be listed later on in the episode, but this is a multiple award-winning film, Golden Horn, Africa Movie Academy, the list goes on. Multiple awards and nominations.
And they deserved each and every one of them. Guys,
Definitely.
the production is beautiful.
Guys.
Well thought out, well shot. Directors, writers, well done. And our film was written and directed by And our film has been written and directed by Jahmil, as well as produced by Yellowbone Entertainment.
Give it a head. So for those who don't know or are about to find out, Knuckle City is basically a movie that follows two brothers who grew up under really harsh conditions, and their father was the basic heavyweight champion basically of that time. It is set in 1994, or at least part of it, and from there moves on to 2019, where we see the story from the older brother's perspective. As you stated before, these guys grew up under really harsh conditions. They grew up in the hood, and there's a lot of references to the hood, and along the way they get mixed up into a lot of boxing, of course, and a bit of gangsterism, because also back at that time, or especially for their circumstance, I think, boxing was kind of your way out the hood, you know, but unfortunately didn't really make it out. So the film basically follows the older brother, his name is Dudu, and the younger brother is Duke, and they're basically going through this journey where they try to, it's basically like a coming of age within this environment. Duke, we get a bit of his boxing life, and we see, Dudu, and then with Duke we see how growing up under that really rough and rugged environment basically impacts one. And then you kind of see the dichotomy between the two brothers, because fun fact, both of them try really hard not to be like their dad, but then they both have qualities of their dad. And at the end you kind of see this sibling rivalry throughout the actual film, and then you finally get to the end and it's kind of like there's some camaraderie
like
there.
A parallel situation.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they grew up together, and it's more like my brother's keeper, going through life together, going through the trials together, and trying to find a way out of this tough situation, which is basically just financial struggles of post-apartheid and living in the township, and being surrounded by gangsterism, by violence,
drugs,
by the lack of normal necessities that everyone should have. So it is a deep and cutting story. It is filled with family rivalry, family love. Like it's a balance of both worlds, where you can see people in a tough situation, but they seeing it through together.
Yes.
So
basically.
yes, as Mo said, the father Art owns the boxing gym, and once he passes, the brothers are now struggling with the fact that they no longer own the boxing
they don't have money.
Gym. They don't have money. They're basically struggling to make meals, and the owners of the boxing gyms and the kingpins of this boxing world. Tanzania, by the way, is known for being the mecca of boxing. So that's why this is so true and telling for the setting.
Yeah.
So it's lovely to see how everything unfolds in that space. So stick around and we'll give you guys in-depth crux of this beautiful film.
It's incredible.
So immediately when we get into this beautiful film, we are met with the character's point of view shot. So this shot is specifically created for the viewer to see through the eyes of the character that we do. And I feel like that's such a great tool to bring in the viewers, because now you're like, why am I seeing hazy? So there's the focus puller focuses on the specific people who are close in proximity to the person lying on this bed stretcher. So we don't know what's happening and we're just being drawn into the space where we're seeing hazy. And I feel like it speaks so much to what's also going to unfold. Because it's like, okay, I'm not seeing properly. It's
very daisy and all of that.
So for me, I took it far. I like overanalyzing. I took it far. I said it spoke to the fact that throughout the story now, not everything is black and white.
For sure.
So yes, you're doing something wrong, but there's context behind it. There's a reasoning as to why you're doing this. So I think it was a director's choice to give us the scoop without
really place us in there.
Yes, so they placed that direct in the beginning because they're trying to show us as the viewers, but listen, it's not a black and white film. There's a lot of in-depth things that are happening here, and I need you to see this in the point of view of
our character.
That is our main character that we're seeing this shot from.
100%.
And what else did you pick up on?
I think for me with that same shot, the first thing, so I'm a cine. So the first I picked up on was the anamorphic lens. So I'm a cinematographer.
Thank you.
And basically anything that has to do with lighting and camera work and camera movement and the technical camera gear is literally heaven for me. Right? So yeah, the first thing that I saw for me personally was the anamorphic lens, because I feel like anytime a DP chooses to use an anamorphic lens, it's always for something very intentional, because the reason for it is because anamorphics capture a really wide scope, right?
Okay.
So your usual lens, like the 16:9 format.
So that's your extreme wides.
More so the actual view of the camera. So you know how you have like your TV screen, you have some pictures that fill up the whole rectangle. So then what anamorphic does is it takes all the information on the side and it squeezes it, like literally it squeezes it.
Into the one.
And then in post they do something called de-squeezing. So that's why you find that you have more room on the side. So it really helps make the film more immersive.
Okay, so what does that mean for the viewer?
So there's two things. One, in terms of like how the light looks on camera, it kind of gives it character, you know, because I think with a lot of soapies, I think for this film in particular, they really wanted to stand out. Like even if the film was to make it on TV, it would still have that distinct difference. And that's the whole point of shooting anamorphic, that if you're going to put it against any other type of film, soapy, whatever series, it does stand out, you know what I mean? Because a lot of films do make it on TV eventually. So when you see it, you're like, no, but this is that one. Like this is that one. So if you look at the film, you'll see wherever there's like blurriness, it's not clean. Like you have like these orange or blue ovals. So that's basically the character of the lens that was used.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Very intentional. Perfect. Love it.
I love it. So that just speaks to the DOP, the director, the focus puller coming together to show off this seamless view of a guy who's been beaten up. And we only see that when the camera pans to his face.
Yeah. So
we'll see what all of that is about.
And from there, we are then immediately thrusted into 1994 in Tanzania.
Yep.
What was your take?
My take on it, I already knew that it was going to be fast-paced because of how everything was moving. The camera was moving quickly. The boy on the bicycle, which is young dude, he's racing, he's running, and just the build-up, the urgency of the beginning keeps you engaged because you're like, when's it going to Tenses laughter. Because also, as it started on like a stretcher. So you're trying to figure out stretcher,
what are we doing?
We're moving on back in the D. How did we get there?
Yeah.
So the fast-pacedness is just what grabbed me towards finding out what the story is about. So what did you?
I think for me, the orange look definitely stood out because I think immediately,
so that's color grading.
Yes, color grading, because I think obviously when you see a very striking difference and somebody goes for a very retro look, it immediately screams, okay, this is very important. What's about to happen here is very important. And with that opening sequence, I'll say, or opening scene or scenes, right? There's a lot of foreshadowing that happens to a lot of the things later on. So basically in the beginning, you have Duke who's basically pacing on this bicycle to get to his brother. I don't know how he got word, but he got word that his brother is up to some nonsense. I guess this is something that he does quite regularly.
Yeah.
So
he looks like a naughty child.
Basically,
he looks like
he is a naughty child. So Duke basically, at probably 7 years old, has a whole fight club that he makes money from, and it's in a plant of sorts because there's security, right?
Yeah.
So his brother basically goes to fetch him and says, hey, stop doing this thing, you're gonna get in trouble, da 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 da. And Duke is like, dude, we're just making money now. Like, you know what I mean?
In fact, he was like, I was about to stab you. What are you doing at me?
His younger brother. But yes, so right after that, he stops the fight. Well, he doesn't really stop the fight, but mid that interaction, the security guards of that place basically start chasing everybody with a dog. I think it was 2 guys.
Yeah.
And basically amidst that whole commotion, Dudu makes it through like a hole in the fence, but it's a barbed wire fence, so it kind of cuts his cheek and that becomes his mark, right? And then Duke unfortunately doesn't make it. They capture him and they're like, hey. And then Dudu's like, yo, do you know who our dad is? Do you know who our dad is? And obviously the guards are like, screw you and your daddy.
I feel like for me, it was the craziest thing because it speaks to how quickly these boys had to grow up. The fast paces, the movement of the camera, everything is just so fast that you realize that it's feeding into the actual story.
Yes.
It's speaking to how these boys are growing up. Fast pace. Everything is just moving. They have to grow up quickly. There's a 7-year-old gambling on people
and guys,
who are fighting.
He's swearing.
All of them are young.
Crazy swearing.
Profanity.
Oh my god.
We are lie to you guys. That's literally how it is.
You think it's just in the beginning.
The writers didn't take it too far. That's how it is. There is so much beauty in the makeup department, guys.
It's insane.
Hair and makeup.
Very well thought out.
Specific film. I cannot say that they didn't do a great job because everything was so real and honest looking.
For sure. I think the first thing that I thought, because I picked up a lot of the references that they used for the film, I think because they were bringing it within the South African context, they really wanted you to still think of the films that they're referencing, just so that everything still has context, but also able to appreciate how well done it is. You know what I mean? So the aging, oh my god.
Before we even get to the aging, guys, in the first scene, first thing we see when the camera pans down is this beaten man's face. He has grey eyes and it looks so real.
Proper eye bags, dude.
You cannot tell me that did not look real. I was sitting there like it's gruesome to see because it looks so real.
For sure.
And as a viewer, as someone who is seeing this for the first time, without the context of he was beaten, they put salt in his eyes. Costumes. The costumes, hair and makeup, that was so well done. The blood looked realistic. The eyes.
Dude, after the salt was rubbed in his eyes,
the swollen eyes.
How did you get that?
I thought he was blind because I hadn't known what
was happening. I was like,
it's in the beginning. Because you're like, okay.
Is this a story about a blind boxer?
Literally.
Yeah.
So the contact lenses they used were so realistic looking. It looked, I don't know, it wasn't grey contacts.
Yeah, I really don't know what color that was.
It's
very cloudy. They made it cloudy, you know? So it's not like they're changing the eye color or anything really illustrious. Like they really tried to make it as dark and grainy as possible. I think what stood out for me was how they were able to show the difference between using makeup to show him as a guy that's in his, I think he's in like late 30s at that point, give or take, and they're showing this guy that's kind of being beaten by life, and they're able to show that through makeup, but also show what that guy looks like beaten up.
Ooh.
Do you know what I mean?
It's deep.
You are like,
Yes.
how? Like, the amount of hours spent.
I get what you're saying, because most of the time you just, you know, when you have that deep depression and you have wrinkles.
Yeah.
And your eyes are drooping, the bags
The
are
whole
begging,
thing. Your lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a beaten up look. Beaten by life.
Just beat up by life.
I actually didn't like try for the two, because he is a boxer.
That's the
he
thing.
is beaten most of the time, but like, you could tell when
that wear and tear of the body was just absolutely all that. Honestly,
crazy.
makeup.
That's crazy. Yeah, the sweat looked real.
That too. I was like,
that
no.
it's real, very physical, but the sweat looked very real. So if it was, comment and let us know, Bantu Knuckle City, because wow, that hair and makeup, y'all did amazing. Even oh my god, listen, the sister, Uno Sisi, her hair, I was like, I have a friend like that. I have a friend like that. I have grown up with people like that, guys.
100%. No.
Our township life was
research.
Like, so carefree, so you know.
I'm here. I am here.
Makeup you did that.
No, that really department.
Seeing the realness of the people's look. You guys captured that so beautifully. Thank you so much. So no, a lot of what was happening for me fed into the environment.
Definitely.
That the people were living under, the circumstances that they were living under. So for those who are watching with us in real time, I hope you guys are watching while we are speaking, so you get what
just have us on the side there.
Yes, like just have us on the side there. Be like, environment that they are into is environment filled with gangsterism. There's violence.
There's drugs everywhere.
There's drugs. It's a cramped up township. Obviously, we all know why that is. And for me, I wasn't excusing the behaviors, but I could understand the reason as to why Art was the way he was as a father.
Yeah.
So Art is Ududu and Duke's father. He is a owner of a
boxing
gym ring.
Yeah.
And when we watch further, we see that there are kingpins and queenpins who truly own
this world
of boxing.
Yeah.
And I feel like with him, the stress of that lifestyle and
really
the stress
got to
of
him.
Having to win got to him. So he would ill-treat the mother. He would find
the kids.
Escape in sex with younger children. And the kids were brought into this world, and this was
they were part of it in this way.
They were part of it. They were exposed to all of this.
It was all they knew.
Because he's the one that the father would be like, let's drive, let's go fetch my gal.
He'd send him and say, hey, can you call?
The crazy thing is, he called Undu, who's in his class. Like, just say you do homework to the grandmas that my girl can come. Do you know how shocked my jaw was on the floor when that girl was like,
your son's classmate?
I said, it's Oscar!
Dude, I thought that was his love interest. I was like, wait, plot twist.
So this is the environment that they're dealing with. These are the stresses that comes with the life that they're in. We're not excusing anyone's actions, but we just want the viewers to truly understand that this world that we brought in isn't just black and white.
Definitely.
So speak to us about these characters.
I think context is very, 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 very important when you're watching this, because I think until you allow yourself to really immerse yourself within that world, you spend a lot of time kind of having a bit of judgment, I'd say. So basically in the film, you get to meet Brad Links, who was basically, I think, I'd say Art's manager and friend. Yeah. So you have Brad Links, you have their mother, who was Art's wife. You have Brad Pat and Mom Bakes, who are basically the king and queen pin of this boxing ring, and basically they bet on fights, right? But they are heavy.
The legal side.
Yes, of boxing. And then of course you have Dudu and Duke, our protagonists of the film. Dudu being the older brother and Duke being the younger brother. The younger brother, Duke, I think he was very, you kind of got to see the dichotomy again with the two brothers, whereby you have Dudu that's more, I'd say, clean or more reserved and introverted, and for him it's almost like this environment is happening to him, but he's trying to sort of create that distance. He didn't succeed ultimately, but you can see that effort to kind of this is not my life, but this is the circumstance of my life, right? Whereas
with
trying
to make Duke,
you know what I mean, and trying to rise above it, even though he keeps being brought back down. And then Duke was the exact opposite. He was embracing this life. He's like, yo, this is where we are, and this is how you make money, this is how you live, this is how you survive. So you got a big sense of I'd say Duke's survivalist nature. And then with Brapat, I think you kind of get to meet him a little bit later on. He's more, again, money centered. So he apparently used to fight art. We find this out at the end, and he even says that was the only fight he ever lost. And I was like, that's a crazy chip on your shoulder there, right?
So he has something there.
Yeah, he's very like money hungry.
And he throws it onto the children, this vendetta that he has with art. Art passed eventually. Yeah. He killed him.
Unfortunately. And there are a couple of side characters that are really important to mention. So you have Nosisi, who is Dudu's daughter, Duke's niece, who Duke treats like his own. And you obviously have, we mentioned Braling. And then you have the other, I'd say, supporting characters, yes, that basically just add to this world. Because I think what the film wasn't shy with was reminding you of the environment of this world. So you have Nosisi's boyfriend, who's gangster boyfriend. Listen, Skandala was thriving, rocked. It was thriving, yes. So you have a lot of supporting characters that are there, I'd say, to really re-emphasize this world that you're in, that this story is happening around, that yes, we're focused on these people, and before you get caught up in their story, it's remember this world doesn't let you forget what's going on.
This is what they're going through. This is what they're thrown at them. And the whole gist of this world is basically survival of the fittest, but also in such unfair circumstances.
Yeah.
It's also like where there's no hope, and then more odds are thrown against you. Yeah. It's I feel like it speaks a lot to the thing of don't judge a book by its cover.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like this man is trying his best. He's trying his best to get out of this circumstance, but life keeps adding and keeps adding and keeps growing. And eventually, as the viewer, you realize that
this is
you can't blame Duke because he never had the stern hand that Ududu had growing up.
Yes. And
Ududu, you can't really compare siblings.
Yeah, because everybody's their own individuality. Yeah, for sure.
So it's very nice to see how they choose to
deal with this world
that they're in, this environment that they're in.
I think what was also really cool was how, I think, especially as you kind of get to the middle, and I think a lot of maybe not a lot, but the perspective behind when we talk about, townships and maybe the violence there, it's almost like from a certain POV, you're like, but you can turn it off, you can, and this film reminds you cannot turn this off. This is real, it is right now. It's kill or be killed. If you want to be good, great, but someone's still trying to kill you.
I think with Ududu, he managed it really well. All he wanted to do was to bring back the bank at home. Yeah, and he found avenues and ways to do it.
The legal way.
Illegal.
Yeah.
And then the brother is just like,
money's money, man.
Me, I'm going to do it the fast pace way. I'm going to do it.
Money's money.
I want it now. Also, he's more of a, what do you call it, when someone is just... act now.
Oh yeah. No, he's
very much act now, think later. And
100%.
He's more of a, I don't want to go to jail. I have my mother to take care of. I have all of this.
I got my entire life ahead of me.
Everything that art put onto him, like you need to look after your brother, take care of your mother, do all of this and all of this and this. And then Duke gets to just relax and act on. Listen, I won't lie, he was my favorite character. I'm like, this man is just acting up. Oh yeah. But also it's just the leniency that he had to grow up with.
I get that. Also, I think there's a lot of I think with those situations, there's a lot of self-soothing that has to take place. So I feel like with Duke embracing that way of life, that was his way of dealing with it. Because remember, in the first scene, he saw his dad kill someone, but also that's how he was set free. So yes, I'm safe, but am I? So I think part of Duke's character kind of embracing this life and being like, no guys, like this This is life. This is how we do things. Was probably also part of accepting it, because I think he also kind of saw the despair in Dudu's just general way of being in life, and you see him trying, but nothing's really materializing. So I think for him was like, no, this is at least how I'm gonna do this.
I feel like he was exposed to pain too
young.
Soon, too young.
Yeah.
And he had to find ways to cope with that. And for him,
embrace it. Like, don't go against the grain. Yeah.
So I truly understand where each character comes from because of the environment that they're in. And I hope as the viewer, you also find the reasonings as to why these people are the way they are.
Put your thoughts down below.
Yeah, tell us in the comments if you truly understand like we do, or if you like, wow,
I don't agree.
Wow. A huge standout for me, Mo, was the way the camera moved inside the boxing ring.
Oh.
So now that speaks to the blocking, the way the director blocked, so that no one's in the way of the DOP.
There's so much energy.
The way the actor was moving through, because he was like, I'm marching.
I'm here.
And DOP had to keep up with it.
We're gone.
And the way it was so seamless. Guys, I was like, this is beautiful to watch. Like
100%.
You can tell that director, DOP,
they took their time.
Assistant director, everyone was connected and working well together.
Also, anytime things are moving fast, you know who I always think of? The focus puller. Every time. Because those were manual lenses. Every time. And this I'm like, pay him double. Pay him double.
Yeah, no, it's so beautiful to see. It's so beautiful to see the colors also coming together.
Yeah.
The way the color grading
100%.
works with this nostalgic feeling of like an olden tone type of look. Like
it really stood out.
Tone, this classic tone look. Please speak
the very
about
retro thing.
that.
So I think what stood out for me, obviously, besides the lenses and everything that I mentioned earlier, the intentional use of the blue and teal color palette, right? So generally in film, as a standard, right, when you get into color grading, you're obviously taught that the easiest way to grade contrast is what you want in a picture, especially color-wise, is teal and orange or blue and orange. So when it comes to lighting, the thing that really stood out for me was how they made use of the color palette of teal and orange, right? Because a lot of the times with these movies, they use the warmer tones on the actual actors where the main action is happening, right? And I think because in a lot of the films that they referenced, that was always symbolic of hope. So with Rocky, it was getting back the title or winning against the odds, or there's always like a monetary sort of upside. So the fight is more a means to an end, you know? So there's always that element of hope that's always there. Whereas with this film, they kept the blues centered and the warmth very far. And I think that was very symbolic of the upbringing and environment that they were in, where it's like, no, this is a very cold world and they don't let you forget it. But with it being cold, it was also, it kind of showed how, yes, warmth might be far and wide, but it's there. And I think that's what Dudu's character really represented. So see how they use, like it's always within reach, but not quite, you know what I mean? But like this cold feeling, this cold environment is just always on them. You see it in the ring, in his dad's ring as well. You see it in the final fight. And what was really cool is in the fight, that's where you had like a really like intense blue. And what was really cool to see was how they intercut that with where he thinks about his dad and like mortality and all of that. So having these themes of mortality and death with the blue and this fight where he's fighting basically with the handicap because he put salt in his eyes, right? And just that whole thing really tied in really well, where you get this constant reminder that no, this is a cold world. And even with the fight, he wasn't even fighting for anything big or monetary and all that stuff. He was just trying to survive and not die.
And to make sure his family survives.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So yeah, no, how they used color in that instance was absolutely mind-blowing.
That's dope. For me, when it came to the color, I was seeing it in a more touchy-feely eye, where you're viewing everything with the mood and the tone of the film.
For sure.
So the warmer tones for me were speaking to that classic retro, older type of feel.
Yes.
Where you can tell, okay,
We're back here.
A while ago. To
Yeah.
bring in that nostalgia, also that sense of comfort.
Yes.
Some might say there's a comfort to it.
It's like a hug. It felt like a hug.
And then when I was seeing the blues, it was more of the intense scenes where it's like, what's gonna happen? So the viewer also feels that coldness when they're watching.
Yes,
so that's pretty dope look into the lighting.
The color palette,
Yeah, and the color palette. So this is what I always wanted to know. When it comes to colors, color grading, VFX.
Yes.
What is the distinguishing between a VFX and then color grading? Is it all done? It's all done in editing, by the way.
Yeah.
But is it done by the same person?
Ideally, no. Okay. But being this side of the world, budget is always a problem. But typically, no. You have different people, so they just work together to agree on a color palette, because obviously that needs to basically be married together and all these different the VFX person needs to look out for if there are actual special effects or things like text on the film or whatever, making sure that ties into the color palette that's already been used, and then the grader just works on the footage in and of itself, because films are shot in a format, it's called log. So when you actually shoot it, the picture is gray. So all the colors are added in post, because that's what gives you the most clean image and all of that. So it's usually different people. So your editor, your grader, your VFX person, usually different people.
Thank you for the clarification. Ni vile tunana black and white. Kutwa magic sprinkles of color.
Sprinkle.
That's art. That is such a deep art, and a lot of people wouldn't know that. They think you just shoot and then you just edit.
100%. And that's really hard for like a lot of, I'd say, artists as well in those respective spaces when they freelance, because you have a thing that will say, okay, you must be an editor, but also a grader, but also know VFX, but also know After Effects, and it's like, guys, like, these are all different things. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's pretty cool to break down and understand. So that's what came into creating this beautiful production, Knuckle City. The mood, the tone, everything ties together in the end to give you this beautiful production that you just watch. So take it in with all its depth, take it in with all of the background, all of the departments that come together.
Don't be there.
Costumes, betunana.
Yo.
I say props to the costume department. Do you know why? It's not that I'm being anywhat of a but to be honest, the costumes for the workers, the workers look like workers.
True, they did.
There was a train attendant, he looked like a train attendant.
Yeah, they really paid attention to like the little nuances.
Small little nuances. You were never seeing a person in the gym wearing jeans. You know what I mean? Like everyone was dressed to the nines. The kingpins and queenpins, they had their fluffy jackets, their long coats, their sticks. Everything was planned to the T. Everyone looked the way they were meant to look. No one was looking out of place.
100%. Like they really went the extra mile to make sure that there's cohesion within the costume, because it's very easy to focus on your main characters, not so much your supporting characters as well. So making sure that every single character that appeared on screen,
even if you were background,
dude, like extras, everything, I was like, you know what, props.
Everyone was dressed to the correct space. Very also well, especially when it came to watching the illegal fight.
Oh yes.
There was still people dressed up for that, because it's an event. Yeah. And I didn't expect for it to be like a
literal underground fight club sort of thing. Yeah.
I love that. It spoke to the focus within the production and the way people worked hand in hand to create the full visuals for us. So thank you for that. Thank you, costumes department. So what makes this beautiful Knuckle City film a South African film outside of the location?
There are quite a few things, but I think what always stands out for me, especially South African productions, is the multilingual aspect.
Yes.
So
language.
And how everybody still understands each other, even though there's a blue that will be speaking Xhosa, the other speaking Sesotho and Afrikaans. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, that I love it. Damn.
Fair. I also love the fact that they brought in stick fighting when it comes to training.
Yeah.
Because there's a certain way of fighting when 100%. It comes to sparring, and it's a traditional way that people kept fit. It was their own sport, and bringing it into the sport of boxing for me. 10 out of 10. Great.
Watch it, guys. Trust me, watch it. Comment what your favorite scene was.
Our writer and director did that. Thank you so much, Jahmil, for all of your work and your glorious brain. This was beautiful watch. So everyone, please do watch our YouTube. Please do subscribe and link everything. Send it to your family, your friends, and comment. Speak to us. Tell us how you feel in the comments. Tell us if you love this film, if you've watched it before and you've gotten more insight now that you've watched our wonderful Mo who has joined us today. So thank you so much.
Hleli